Today in our 2011 Chevy Suburban, we'll be installing the Derale Series 8000 plate fin transmission cooler, part number D13503. To gain access to the front of the vehicle near the radiator, we're going to remove the front clip. To do this, there are multiple fasteners along the top edge of the front clip. Go ahead and remove those first. Next, we'll move to the wheel well, where there are multiple push pin and screw-in fasteners to remove. Now we'll go ahead and get underneath the vehicle, where we'll have several more fasteners that need to be removed. Here on the passenger side, we'll need to remove the bolt that is behind the wheel liner and front clip. Next, we'll go ahead and remove the electrical running to the front fog lights. And finally, the final fastener will be the lower brace to the front clip, which is another screw-in fastener. Now with all our fasteners removed here on the passenger side, we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the driver's side. With that completed, we can now go ahead and remove the front clip and set it to the side for reinstallation later. As you can see, we now have access to the front radiator and core support. We'll be mounting the transmission cooler in this area. To make room for the transmission cooler, we're going to go ahead and relocate the front crash sensor. To remove it, we'll simply pop it free and set it aside for now. Now before we install the cooler, we're going to go ahead and prep it. To do this, we'll remove the rubber caps off the end of the cooler inlet and outlet so that we can install the hose. To make it easier to install the hose, we'll go ahead and take some transmission fluid, pour it into the line to give it some lubricity to slide it onto the transmission cooler nipples. Before I put the hose in place, we'll go ahead and slide on a couple of hose clamps. Now, with one side on, we can go ahead and take our hose clamp and tighten it down. Now I'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Now with our cooler prepped, we're ready to go ahead and install it. We'll fasten it here to the cross brace with two self-tapping fasteners. Next, we'll go ahead and use the Drolly Universal Ridgemount Bracket Kit, part number D13002, to secure the top side of our cooler. We'll be using a bolt, two flat washers, and a nylon lock nut to secure it to the cooler. So that our bracket fits a little better, we'll go ahead and trim off one of the corners. Now let's go ahead and fit it to the cooler and the cross brace on the vehicle. As you can see, it's a little longer than we need, so we'll go ahead and draw a line and cut off the excess from the bracket. Now we can go ahead and attach it to the cross brace using a self-tapping screw. Now with our transmission cooler mounted and secured, we're ready to go ahead and start running the lines. Next, we'll go ahead and get underneath the vehicle and mark out the section to be cut out. We'll need to cut out part of the lower air cowling to make room to remove the transmission line from the manufacturer's cooler, to make room for the Raleigh GM adapter, and also make our connections in line with the manufacturer's cooling system. Then we'll use a rotary zip tool to cut out this area. Now we're ready to go ahead and remove the line from the cooler. First, we'll remove the clip cover, and then we can remove the clip securing the line into the cooler. Now with the clip out, we'll go ahead and remove the line. It's recommended to put a drain pan underneath the cooler, as some fluid will drain out. Now with that done, we'll go ahead and take our hose from our new transmission cooler and route it over so we can cut our length. Once we get our length marked, we'll go ahead and take a pair of side cutters or snips and cut the line in half. Now we can go ahead and install the Derale GM adapter, part number D13035, into the hose that we just cut. Again, I recommend to use a little transmission fluid for lubricant when installing the nipple. Now with our nipple on, we'll go ahead and install the clamp and tighten it down. Now we'll go ahead and take the clip cover and install it on the new nipple. Now we're ready to go ahead and install the new nipple into the manufacturer's cooler. Then we'll go ahead and reinstall the clip and reinstall the clip cover. Next, we'll take a clamp, install it over the manufacturer's line, and then take the other end of our hose that we just cut in half and install it onto the manufacturer's line. It may be necessary to go ahead and remove the line from the bracket so that it'll give you more access and room to install the hose. With the hose on, go ahead and clamp it down and then reinstall the line back into the bracket. Now with the cooler secured and the lines installed and secured, next I'm going to go ahead and take a pair of tin snips and cut off the excess from the hose clamps. This will prevent them from rubbing, chafing, or squeaking on other parts. Quick tech tip, after you cut these clamps, it can create sharp edges. Now we'll go ahead and take some black zip ties and secure the transmission cooler hoses. Now that our hose is secured, we'll go ahead and clean up our install look by cutting off the excess from the zip ties. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall the crash sensor. Use a zip tie here to secure it near its original location. Next, to clean up our install look, we'll just go ahead and cut off the excess from the zip tie, just like we've done previously. Quick tech tip, now that everything's installed, it's a good opportunity to go ahead and start the vehicle and check for leaks. Now with that done, we're ready to go ahead and reinstall the front clip. It's a good idea to get an extra set of hands to help you hold it as you reinstall it. Now with the front clip in place, we'll go ahead and reinstall all the fasteners, and don't forget the fog lights. And with the front clip reinstalled, that'll complete the installation of our Derale Series 8000 plate fin transmission cooler, part number D13503. We also used the Drolly GM adapter, part number D13035, and the Derale universal rigid mounting bracket, part number D13002, on our 2011 Chevy Suburban.